Welcome back to Speak Japanese in 5 minutes, broadcasting live from our favorite spot, Cafe Jupiter. I'm your host, Leo, and as always, I'm joined by the brilliant Hana sensei. Hana, it smells like fresh coffee and knowledge in here. What are we learning today?
こんにちは、レオさん。皆さん、こんにちは。Today, we are covering two very important topics for introductions: your name, or onamae, and your age, or nenrei.
Great! I've always been curious about something. You said onamae for name. I've heard just namae before. What does that O at the beginning do?
That's a fantastic question. The O is a Japanese honorific prefix. It is used to show politeness and respect. You attach it to certain nouns to elevate them. When you are asking for someone else's name, it is much more polite to say onamae. It makes the word more refined and shows you respect the person you're speaking to.
So it's like adding a layer of politeness directly onto the word itself. That makes sense. Our listeners are here to be polite, so let's dive into that.
Exactly. So, to ask someone, what is your name? You say, onamae wa nan desu ka? Let's break it down. Onamae is name. Wa is the topic marker. Nani means what, and deskan makes it a polite question.
Okay, onamae wa nan desu ka? I noticed in Japan, people add san to names, like when you called me Leo-san. Is that related to this politeness thing?
Yes, precisely. The suffix san is a title of respect, like Mr., Ms., or Mrs. You add it to someone's family name or given name when talking to them or about them. It's a fundamental part of polite conversation. But here is a critical rule: you never ever use san for your own name. Doing so would sound very arrogant, as if you are placing yourself on a pedestal. So, to respond to onamae wa nan desu ka? You can say, watashi wa your name desu. For example, watashi wa Hana desu. Watashi means I, but in casual conversation, you can often just say your name followed by desu. To be even more polite, you can also use moshimasu mushen asu, which is a humble way to say my name is. So you could say your name to moshimasu. This is very formal and respectful.
Got it. So I would introduce myself as Leo, but I would call you Hana-san. Okay, listeners, let's get ready to practice that question.
I will say it very slowly first. Please repeat after me. O, namae wa nani desu ka? Good. Now, at a natural speed. Onamae wa nan desu ka?
Great, that really helps. Now that we know someone's name, the next thing we might ask is their age. How would we ask that, Hana-sensei?
A great question. To ask someone's age, you can say oikutsu desu ka? This is a very polite way to ask.
Oikutsu desu ka? It sounds very elegant. How would we answer that? And could you break down the question for us?
It is elegant. But before we can answer a question like oikutsu desu ka, we need to learn some numbers first. So today, we'll focus on 1 through 10. Japanese numbers are very logical. So once you get these down, everything else becomes much easier.
All right, a numbers drill. Listeners, get ready to repeat.
Here we go. Repeat each one after me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 7, 8, 9 or 9, 10.
1, 2, 3. I think I've got it. It's amazing how musical they sound. Listeners, don't worry if you didn't get them all. You can always rewind and practice again. Repetition is key. Okay, Hana-sensei, we have the numbers. Now how do we use them for age?
To ask how old are you? The standard polite phrase is nansai desu ka? The key word here is toshi. This is the counter for years of age. In Japanese, you often add a specific counter word after a number depending on what you are counting. So nansai literally means how many years of age. Let's practice. 何歳ですか? To answer, you say the number, 私, and end with this. For example, to say I am 20 years old, you say 20歳です.
Wait, hold on. I heard hatachi this. I was expecting something with ni for 2 and ju for 10, like ni juzai. What happened?
Another excellent observation, Leo-san. You are correct. Normally, 20 would be 20. However, 20 years old is a special exception in Japanese. It has its own unique word hatachi. It is something you simply have to memorize. Most other ages are regular.
A special case. I love those. It's a bit of trivia to remember. So for our listeners who are 20, they get to use a special word. That's pretty cool. Okay, this has been fantastic. I think it's time for an intensive practice round. We're going to drill both of those key questions. Hana-sensei, lead the way.
Hi, let's begin with the name question. I will say it, and you repeat in the pause 3 times. お名前は何ですか? お名前は何ですか? お名前は何ですか?
Great work. Now let's do the same for the age question.
Repeat after me. 何歳ですか? 何歳ですか? 何歳ですか?
Fantastic! Final challenge. Try to answer this for yourself. What is your name and how old are you? I'll give you a moment. Great effort! Hana-sensei, do you have one last scholarly tip for us?
Hi. In Japan, it is common to ask children their age, but it can be impolite to ask an adult you've just met. It is best to wait.
Great advice. That's all our time. Join us next time on Speak Japanese in 5 minutes when we'll tackle numbers up to 100.
またね。